When I asked ChatGPT earlier, I said, who is the number one woman in the world in investing? It repeatedly said your name.
Mm.
So that's a pretty remarkable thing to have accomplished, especially in a male dominated industry where there isn't many women that manage to rise to the top of that industry. So what is it about you in hindsight? It's difficult to be objective about oneself, but what is it about you that meant that you were successful in a male dominated industry, in an industry that's incredibly difficult to be successful in?
My advice to all young people getting into their first job especially, but even later jobs, is my mission when I started was to make my boss look brilliant. Now, why do I say that? It's much more applicable today and possible today than it was back when there were no computers and no cell phones, which is when I started, right? But what did I do? My boss wanted to communicate, he was an economist, wanted to communicate in charts that, he couldn't find. So I figured out a way. I went to our time-sharing system. That's all you could do back then. Time-sharing is an ancient mainframe technology. And I figured out a way to make these charts and delight him. And I loved doing it, and I loved learning. I loved learning about technology. I learned and about economics through him. So that was the first thing. And then,
Why is it important to make your boss look good?
well, I think because if you do make him look good, first of all, you owe him a debt of gratitude if he turns around and gives you more growth opportunities. So, but if he or she doesn't, then it's time to go to the next place where you make that next boss look brilliant and maybe you have the growth trajectory. I had bosses who they loved the fact that I loved what I was doing, that I had such high conviction in what I was doing, and I'm going to give Art Laffer a lot of credit for that. When I walked into the financial world, I knew more about economics than most of the people in the room. And that was a great source of confidence, a great source of confidence.